Welcome to the Tatyana Show.
Welcome back to the Tatyana Show. I'm your host, Tatyana, and who I have with me today is Starkville Fire Department Fire Chief, Mr. Charles Yarbrough. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so as Fire Chief, what is your role?
My role as Fire Chief is administration of the fire department, one thing, overall safety of the city, fire prevention for the city, and then also managing the monetary side of it, the budgeting issues, whatever may come up with the fire department. So those are my biggest roles, taking care of all of the people that work. I don't like to say under me, the people work for me, the people that I work with. So.
Okay. So how long have you been in the business of being a firefighter?
21 years.
Okay. And at what age did you decide I want to be a firefighter?
I probably around 10. I started to make some bad decisions, starting fires and stuff like that. So I was always fascinated with fire anyway. So probably about 10, at the age of 10, and then I was 23 when I came up here. So.
And ever since then, you've been a firefighter?
I have been a firefighter since then.
How did it take you to become a firefighter? Like, what steps did you take?
I had to do a basic application thing, physical fitness test, written test. So I did very well on both of those, and then had to do an interview, and then they offered the job. So I've been here ever since then.
So was it always in your plans to become chief, or that just happened?
No, it was always in my plan to become chief. When I came here, we had a chief by the name of Willie Johnson, and he was the first black chief in the city of Starkville. And I kind of looked up to him because I loved the path that he took to get here, and I was afforded opportunities to go to different classes, and I went out on my own and got my education in order to be here, to get my degrees, in order to. When the opportunity came, I would be ready to do it. So, yeah.
What is it about being a firefighter that you love?
I love helping people. That's it. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I love giving back to my community and helping people. So that's if you're gonna be a firefighter, you got to love those two things: giving back to the community and helping people.
Okay, I know a lot of people just associate you guys with putting out fire. What else do you all do?
Yeah, that's probably the least thing we do, put out fires. We do that. Our number one goal is fire prevention. Now, we can keep them from happening, and that's the number one thing that we want to do. We also do, we in the schools helping the kids out, and we teaching kids fire prevention. So it starts when they're in kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, pre-K, not playing with matches and all that. And then we go, we do that, we inspect buildings, we do training. We go to several different classes. We do overland search and rescue. We search for people who are lost. That maybe we do vehicle accidents. Rescue people from that maybe get stuck on top of a building. Rescue people from elevators. We do so much. Our job is just really firefighting encompasses so much. So it's really definitely just not firefighting.
Okay, and you say that y'all try to teach people how to prevent fires. What are a few tips that you can give people on preventing fires this holiday season?
Okay, holiday season, some of the things we see, cooking, and also another thing we see, Christmas trees. So let's talk about the cooking first. The cooking thing is always going to be the same year round. If you're cooking, don't leave your stove. Don't leave out the kitchen because, now with the technology, you got cell phones and things like that, and all this stuff going on, you walk away, by the time you come back, your house is on fire. So it don't really take long. People cooking turkeys and things outside, that's the big thing. Cook them outside. Don't cook them under enclosed, carport, anything like that. Cook them outside in an open space like they're supposed to be. And always watch them because they're very dangerous, those turkey cookers are. Christmas trees, only the biggest ones are the real Christmas trees. Make sure that you keep them watered because you got lights on there and they can at night. If they get dry, if they dry, they will at night. You can start a fire like that. We have a lot of Christmas tree fires every year. Okay. Across the nation, not maybe here, but across the nation. So
how can someone keep the Christmas tree watered if they have the ornaments on the tree?
You're gonna water at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, just water the bottom of the tree where the root's at. So
okay.
Especially on the real tree, just and we have one out here that we have somebody pretty much water every day.
Okay, so they should water it every day.
I would say if you look down there, no water in there, yeah, I think every day you need to pour the water in there. That's what my suggestion would be.
Okay. Okay, aside from giving out tips on preventing fires, how do, when one does happen, like, what is it that urge you to be like, okay, we gotta go fix it? Like, what is about that thrill of putting out a fire when one does happen?
It's exciting, to be honest with you. It's really exciting because we got our gear on. We're going into somewhere, you know, that's dark. Most people think that you can see the fire, but you can't see it until you get on it. So, you know, it's dark in the house because you got smoke. So you're crawling through the unknown, and you get there, and it's a thrill of actually putting water on it and putting it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thrill sometimes to sit there and watch it do what it do, because it does some very interesting things. They move in a certain pattern, so sometimes just sitting there watching how it works, it's exciting at times, and then you get a chance to put it out, and you get a chance to save somebody property.
Yeah.
So for that moment, and you come out, you're a hero. So,
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's, you know, it's kind of that thing, you know. It's kind of a macho thing, a little bit of that, you know.
So it's like a man thing.
it's a man thing, but I think it's a female thing too, because
Yeah.
you know, the females that get into this business, they have to be something, you know, really great, because
Yeah.
it's a tough field for men, so I can only imagine for a female. But there are some great females out there that's really doing good. So
What advice can you give someone who may want to be a firefighter?
keep yourself in shape. This is a very demanding, physically demanding job. Firefighters die from heart conditions more than anything. So keeping yourself in shape, keeping a clean driving record, because we got, you know, $1 million piece of equipment that we want people to drive, but you got to have a clean record to do it. Stay out of trouble. You know, get your education. I mean, most people think, well, I'm a firefighter, you know, but it's a lot of school you have to go to. It's a lot of education requirements to keep your job and to move up and promote. So I would say those things right there.
As a chief, do you ever have dreams of maybe working in like a different city or a different area?
Yeah, I do. I would love to be a fire chief in a different area once I'm done retired here, or be a instructor or teacher somewhere else. I always wanted to go to Houston, Texas. So that's kind of my goal when I leave here, to move to Houston, maybe and do some teaching or something like that.
Okay. You know, that's a bigger city, so bigger problems.
A whole lot bigger problems, bigger fire departments. So,
yeah.
A lot more people to manage. But, you know, I think the management concept is the same. You know, you got to have good people work under you. That's the main thing. I'm fortunate to have great people to work beside me, and if you want to say under me, but I'm more sort of say beside me, that do their job and allow me to be able to do my job a little bit better. So.
Okay. I know as a firefighter, y'all a team, y'all have to have trust walking into a fight together. How do y'all know from interviewing and, you know, getting new candidates that this is someone that we can trust with our life?
I tell you what, to be honest with you, we really can't find out through the interview process, because, you know, the interview process, we were talking about this earlier, is flawed to an extent, because if I'm interviewing you, you won't tell me what you want to hear to get the job. So what we do, once you become a firefighter, and once you hire you, we take you through a 2-week process, and we find out if you really want to be a firefighter. You know, we find out, because it's gonna be a tough process. So we take you through, we put you in situations, and sometimes you fail in those situations, and that's fine. It's fine to fail in those training situations, but we just don't want you quitting. So that's how we find out. You know, we find out by working with you and training with you, if we can trust you or not. You know.
How long does that process usually take to become a firefighter?
It takes, do you mean like to become a certified firefighter, or just become, to get hired?
Well, at least the first step to get hired.
It's different. It probably take you about a month or 2 to get hired, just because it's a long process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to get a background checks, and then you have to go through the process of actually getting tested. So we do a physical fitness test,
Mm-hmm.
we do a written test, and then we do an interview. So you have to pass each step to get to the interview. So
Okay.
it takes a little bit to do it.
Okay, so after they're done with those steps, then how long is the next process of being certified?
The next process, it would take you 7 weeks. So you go to the Mississippi State Fire Academy, which is in Pearl or Jackson, Mississippi. You stand there for 7 weeks, and you become what we call a certified firefighter. Then with us, you have to be an EMT, which is an emergency medical technician. So you have to go to one semester at the local college in order to be able to do that.
Okay.
So first year here, it's going to take you about a year to actually become what we call a certified firefighter.
Okay. How many fires do Starkville average yearly?
Working fires about 20 a year. Now we have several car fires. We have stove fires, but when we're talking about actual fires, when we respond, so probably about 20 a year.
Okay. So, and usually that's around what time of the year?
To be honest, most people always think it's around wintertime, but it's summertime. It's all year round. You know, you never can really tell. I mean, we could have a year where we have more in the summer than the winter. So
yeah.
it just depended on when people paying attention or not, you know. 'Cause
Yeah.
most of our fires start from cooking fires and people not paying attention. And a stove fire can turn into a house fire, so that could be any time during the year.
Okay. Are there any ways that maybe people could, if they do have a little small fire, that they can just put out before having to call y'all?
Yeah, you know, we have people, if they have extinguishers, they can use the fire extinguishers. But, you know, if they don't have those, we would rather for you to call us.
Okay.
We don't want people getting trapped in the house and dying trying to put out a stove fire. You know, you can replace, we hate for death, but you can replace your stove, you can replace your cabinets, but we can't replace you. So we just, you know, if there's a problem, just call, you know, and let us come take care of it. That's what we get paid to do. So.
Okay. And as fire chief, do you still go to the fires, or do you just stand back and
I go to them, but I don't go in them. I stand back, and it's a hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to do, to stand back and watch, because you want to help. But I stand back and I let the people that's beside me or under me, if you want to call it, they let them do the job. You know, that's what they're trained to do. So, you know, I had my time, so now my job is a little bit different. So, and it's a hard thing sometimes for me to realize that I'm not supposed to be doing that, because I'm always going to get my hands on something. So.
Yeah. When was the most recent, most dangerous fire that you guys have had in the city of Starkville?
The most recent fire we had was about 2 weeks ago. And everyone we go to is dangerous. So, you know, everyone is dangerous. But it was about 2 weeks ago they had one, but it was what we consider to be an average fire. Our guys did a good job of getting it out.
How long does that process take when putting out a fire?
It could take 2 minutes, or it could take, you know, an hour or two. It could be a long time, depending on, it just depends on the building. It depends on how long the fire been burning. It's a number of factors. So, you know, and once the fire's out, that's when we come in as investigators and we figure out what happens, how to start. So.
Okay, so y'all do the investigating part of that
right.
too.
We did the investigating part as well. So, you know, that's the science of it. You put the fire, but then, you know, you can go in. We got guys here capable of going in and find out exactly where it started at and how it started.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
How does that work? Like, what is it that you guys see or look for?
It's once you get trained to do different things, and it's stuff that you can just find out, and just from over the years seeing fires and how they can develop. There are certain things you look for, and you can figure out it started over here. Witness statements are one of the things, but you can just, like I say, it's being trained to know what to look for.
Yeah. Okay, so can you tell us something about being a firefighter that people may not know who is not firefighters?
Okay. I think that's one of the things that people may not know, that we actually can pretty much tell where the fire started at. We investigate our own fires. That's one thing people don't know. I think that people don't also know that firefighters, as tough as we say we are on the outside, we still human. So we do a lot as far as we see a lot. We see a lot of death from car wrecks, from fires, from just people just dying. So death is one of the things that we see a lot of, and we have to cope with it. So I always tell people, if you see firefighters on the scene of a tragic accident or something, they smiling and joking around, don't always assume that they don't care. They care, but they just cope. We all cope in different ways. Some guys cope by joking around.
Yeah.
And some guys come back to the station, they cry. Some guys may cry on the scene, but as tough as we want to say we are, we still human. So
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that people maybe not know about firefighters.
Thanks for watching the Tatyana Show.